Hey guys, one topic sits with me very deeply, and that's why I'm going to talk about it. Because since I got back to New Zealand, although I'll be here for only 6 months, and that's a big decision on my side to be 6 months here, to be 6 months in Europe, or wherever I need to be, following my heart and my mission. So, parenting and ancestor reality and education is what I would like to deeply go into as a topic and also share a little bit with you. I know I've mentioned before about my ancestors, my great grandparent and grandparent, in their mission on this planet and their determination no matter what, because they lived in very difficult times. But parenting is part of that, nurturing and providing an environment for your children, for my children, for our children, is a key in any lifetime. So first I would like to say that when we are true to our mission and know our why, it is much easier. I'm not saying it's much or less painful. It's much easier to go on the journey. Yeah, and then saying this is parenting. Nobody belongs to us. Our kids have chosen us for a reason. We don't choose our children. They choose us before they incarnate and come. So they choose us because they have to give something to us. They have to teach us huge amount. And they just need love, nurturing, and a little bit of navigation from our experience on this planet and on other planets, incarnating on a soul level before. So why our kids don't belong to us? Because we come alone and we live alone. We come to learn and leave something on the planet. So our consciousness as evolutionary human beings or other beings incarnated in a human body are to raise the vibration of humanity. We serve humanity when we come here. And I believe that sooner you get that, the better you're gonna live. But again, I woke up at age of 38, fully to my spiritual being, and started following my heart. And it was very difficult. Because at age of 12, I had huge experience with spirits, ghosts, if you want to call them, aliens, and I refused that, and I told them to go away. I told them that my fear is bigger than anything else. Plus, through the system, we were fed that aliens and monsters come to take you, which is not the case. They come to learn and add something to us. Again, depends on which planet they come from, what kind of consciousness they carry with themselves, and what they want to pass on us in our journey. And of course, there would have been a lot of abductions in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and that's where we got our perception, wow, it must be really bad. They must use us for their experiments and not to cherish us as a being here, evolutionary being, bringing something to their planet or galaxy as well. So I'm not going to get too much into this. The core is parenting because our kids don't belong to us. We want to protect our kids from our mistakes. And we have, because they're not us, they're not going to make the same mistakes. They're going to make their own mistakes, their own learning. What they need, again, is support and love. It's not about you as a parent moaning, oh, my kid this, oh, my kid is lying, oh, my kid is drinking, oh, my kid has left home or not going to school or something like that. It's not about you. It's about them. They're teaching you something from what they're doing first. Then they saying, Mom, Dad, can you help me? Because I'm still young to this life. I'm still learning. Can you please navigate with me? Can you give me some tools? Can you just love me? Because I don't fit in. I don't want to be here. I don't want to experience that. And instead, we blame them. We ban them from things they love doing in order to punish them somehow. What we do when we do this is we go further away from their hearts. We disconnect from them and they run away looking for love somewhere else, for some safety somewhere else. But remember, your kids are young. Your kids need your support. That's why they're your kids. After age of 20, 25, I believe if they got the grounds under them, the foundation of that love, nurturing, and some kind of direction, which we can do only through asking questions, because they have to make their decisions. We're not supposed to influence them on any level, okay? And then going back to my ancestors now, I understand that the times I lived in, grew up more likely, in the 80s and 90s, there were a lot of communist times back home and a lot of regime. My great-grandfather, at his very lively age, was the first to create the Green Party back home, and his son, my grandfather, continued the journey. It was very difficult for them because they spoke their truth. They wanted the farmers and the land to be looked after the locals and the food to be given to the locals. Unfortunately, the governments and the presidents at the time were lying to the nation and taking everything out of the country and signing other agreements and contracts with other countries out of greed. Nothing's changed in the world still. There's a lot of corruption back home in Bulgaria, but I would like to stick to ancestor work and the parenting and the nurturing and love we were given by them and their example. We live in a better times, and at the same time, we are not frightened or threatened by war. And when I say that, I don't say it easily, lightly, because Ukraine is still going through huge time of change and devastating times and a lot of pain. But what I'm saying, in general, we live in better times with better opportunities. We're destroying them somehow. When my grandparents, great-grandparent and grandparent, their father and son, they were creating a place where they wanted the land and the humans to be connected, to have society where they trust each other. And in order for them to do that, they were taking everything from them. Who were they? The government at the time. Because they thought, if you speak the truth, you need to go to prison. My great-grandfather spoke 6 times very loudly and organized protests. 6 times he was put in prison. The 6th time he couldn't get out. 14 years later, they released him. What I'm saying here is they had the courage to continue doing what they needed to do, what they believed was true. The times were much harder than now. I can tell you something. Those 2 people in my life asked their families, their wives and children, do you want us to stop? Because their families were put under huge amount of disrespect, pressure, pain, and not to mention the rest. And the families said to them, no, you do what you think is right, we will be fine. We have chosen you, you have chosen us. So let's keep moving. Okay? This is how strong they were. In the name of their mission as a soul, not as a human being. They knew that what they're doing, whether they die today or tomorrow, it's irrelevant. What was relevant for them was to achieve something and to pass to their nation the truth, for which they paid a high price, through a human perspective, yeah? So now we have a result of that, me at least, knowing that I was loved and nurtured to the core. When I was growing up, I had no rules and no discipline. Later in my life, at my early 20s, I suffered because discipline is a huge key for your growth. So what happened then? I went to look for discipline. Did I find it? Oh, yes. I found discipline. I found courage to look for that and to live. by rules that would give me structure of my life and the determination of where I'm going. Yeah. But without the love of my parents, the trust and the freedom they gave me, and to be honest, I had conversation with my parents. How could you let me do the things I did? And they said, we wanted you to share with us. We wanted you to feel loved, to feel close to us, not ever judged, but supported. And it's incredible because now that I have 3 children, looking back and being a parent as well, wow, they need all the freedom, but they just need to know that they can lean on you, that you have your back, that you have their back. That's all they need to know. And navigate. Ask them questions, challenge them, make them think, make them make hard decisions, but still love them and nurture them. That's the core. And that's what I was given through generation after generation in order to have the ability to choose to follow my heart now and to know that my family is with me and I am with them no matter what. And there's no war happening at the moment in New Zealand or in Bulgaria, so I don't have to suffer through war or be suppressed or not have food at my table. But we have different doubts, different things to overcome. So nurturing your kid and supporting them is crucial. But believe me, they don't belong to you, so they have their own path. If my parents haven't given me this love, unconditional love, I wouldn't have had the courage to get out of my country at age of 20 and to push through very uncomfortable discipline and rules and to learn about myself and the world